go on to Nebrasketball. And this is going to be just a general basketball discussion. Some of it's going to be Nebrasketball stuff, but some of it's, other things, March Madness going on. But we're going to start off with, this was a busy day in basketball, men's and women's. We'll start with the tweet that came out from Sam Hybe earlier today that let's run it back, Husker Nation. There's no place like Nebraska. And on the men's side of it, we've had over the last week now, we have a Lincoln player coming back, Sam Greisel coming back from North Dakota State. Recruits like Blaze Keita and then Ramel Lloyd Jr., they both have reaffirmed that they're coming to Nebraska, even though Matt Abdelmassi has been let go, their lead recruiter. So we're starting to get some of the roster stuff in place. Derek Walker today announced that he's going to come back, and that was great. He announced that on Twitter. And then also that Armin Gates is going to be retained as a coach. So right now we have Armin Gates back and Nate Linzer. So I think we really only have the position that's replacing Matt Abdelmassi. So
and Doc.
Right now, I mean, and Doc.
Was an analyst, maybe?
Yeah, he wasn't like an actual assistant this last year, I don't believe it. So, but we still have, I guess we're replacing what he did. I think that I heard that the position was actually going away. But we're starting to get a good glimpse now of what Hoiberg's plan is from, keeping some of that roster intact. I'm sure we're still going to probably hit a portal and get a player or two here or there. And then there's still one more big hire to make, who's that last assistant going to be. But Meg, I'll start with you here. Obviously, again, busy day. It's great for both the men's and the women's programs to have those players coming back.
Yeah, I'm super excited that Hybe and Derek Walker are coming back. I think in both of their programs, they're leaders. So it's like to have those two specifically to come back and lead these programs and kind of show them the way. And I think it's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we look at the roster here, and Chris Basnett did the yeoman's work on this. He posted this, and I mean, we're going to be over right now. I think we still have a couple of extra spots, so I'm still expecting some more movement. But the 2022-23 season seniors would be Lat Mayan, Derek Walker, Trey McGowan, Sam Greisel. There's Tominaga, Blaze Keita, Andre, although Andre's gone now. He did enter the portal. Wilcher, Oleg, the 7-footer, Keon Edwards, he entered the portal too. Breidenbach. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of numbers there, I guess, to play with. But so they're still in getting the roster, all figured out there. Boomer, what are you thinking basketball-wise right now?
Well, it's nice to see at least, we can't have continuity in the coaching staff, but at least we're getting something to work with for next year. And that's been a complaint that I think Husker fans have had for a while. It just seems every year, right when you start to get something going, that's when the player leaves or transfers out or something happens. And we've just never been able to keep a kind of a base of a team going for any length of time. So I think some of the, the returning players and the fact we're not having to go out and try to refill a whole bunch of recruits again, at least so far, let's hope it stays that way. I think at least gives some hope to basketball next season. So once we get the coaching pieces put together, and should give them something to build on, I think. So.
Yeah, Trey McGowan's, I think, would be a huge get if they could get him to come back. Rob, you've been a huge Derek Walker fan. And so the news today that Walker came back, although not necessarily surprising, I think a lot of people thought that he was going to come back for that extra year. That had to be a positive for you.
Well, yeah, I think that, as much as Bryce McGowan's was the 5-star touted player, obviously he's headed off for the NBA, and then his brother Trey was hurt for most of the season, and Walker was really the one constant on that team the entire season. And towards the end of the season, you heard the announcers talking about that fact more and more and more. I just like him because he's a Big Ten style player, right? He's big. He's a body in the middle of the floor. Like I said, if in past shows, if they could get a center, a guy who is like a true center, 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot, to complement him, that could be a force in the middle to reckon with, especially with that inside out ball where, they're passing it into the middle to put up threes and shots on the outside, which is what Hoiberg wants. So, I mean, I'm excited to see him come back because I just get to watch him for another season. He is probably by far my favorite player on the team. So,
Well, next year with Keita and hopefully Breidenbach coming back healthy, there will be some size to go along with Walker there. And yeah, that should definitely be helpful.
Real quick, I saw Sam Hoiberg on there. Was he on the team this year? Is he? I mean,
Yeah.
is he? He was. Okay, I just had no idea. He's not taking up a scholarship though. I hope.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-mm.
I just wasn't sure. Did he get much playing time? It's always funny to me when coaches' sons are playing on the or playing on the team. I always just find that humorous personally.
Well, I mean, I think it's at Iowa. They had two McCaffreys that were scholarship guys. And actually, I was talking when I was in Denver with Dave a week ago. Well, I was out there with you too, Rob.
Yeah, you were out there. Yeah, I was there.
But watching it with Iowa Sean, and he referenced how there's some frustration within Hawkeye Nation that there's Iowa's coach who makes millions of dollars, has two players on the team, and you only have 13 scholarships to begin with, and two of them are going to his sons. And they're like, come on, I mean, go get go ask the athletic department for $100,000 raise just so you can turn around and pay for your two kids, and then use those spots, like use it. Have two extra scholarships. I mean, why wouldn't
not
you?
only that, but
Yeah.
don't like employees of the university usually get like free school for their kids anyway, or
There's
for their
Yeah.
kids come and
like
yeah. There'd be every school is different with how they do it, but yeah, usually there's some free scholar or
it must be a
credit hours
McCaffrey
and
thing
stuff.
because
They're double
that's
dipping.
like- it must be a McCaffrey thing because Coach McCaffrey here at UNC has two of his kids on the team as well. And Dylan was the quarterback, and that was like a big controversy because he wasn't very good. He's not very good. There was a kid on the team that was better than him who is now transferring out because the coach wanted to play his son. And I'm like, don't you leave that sort of thing behind in high school or like junior high or I don't know, peewees? But apparently not. It's just the way it goes, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, it's college coaches just being dumb and doing dumb things. And this next tweet is a perfect example of that here. One of our favorite follows, Message Board Geniuses. If you do not follow these people on Twitter, you really need to, Redcasters. This was from the Kansas game last weekend where multiple people saying how I feel like Self almost deserves this just for sucking at his job all season. Basically, we need to fire Self, which makes a lot of sense, especially when an hour later you win the game. To follow up on this, and then let's talk about these. Here's a couple more Message Board Genius ones, and this is for the game. I don't know if you guys know this, but North Carolina and Duke are playing this weekend.
Are they?
God,
Yeah.
you'd think sports media would have
Wow.
mentioned that. Yeah.
Man, that's
North
going to be great for college basketball.
Oh, yeah. Well, North Carolina fans, they already know how this is going to end. Duke will get their storybook ending for K. They will beat UNC soundly in the national semifinal, then beat whoever is there for the national championship. I've accepted it, and I hate it, but it's our reality. And meanwhile, Duke fan is worried that all the cards will be stacked against them on Saturday when they face North Carolina. So, again, I bring these up, and it's kind of lighthearted, but I'll go with you here, Meg. We see a lot of Husker fans, obviously, on Twitter, and sometimes we think we get in our own bubble and we think we're the only ones that feel this way or say these things or do these things. But the Message Board Geniuses are great because they highlight that every single fan base has this.
Yeah, everyone's insane. I mean, every fan base has crazy people, right? And it's almost even better as like a Husker fan or just a fan of a program that hasn't had much recent success to see some of these other ones and you're like, that you want to fire Bill Self. Like that's what you want to do. Great idea. I love it.
Yeah, super smart. And that's how those blue bloods get to continue being blue bloods is firing coaches every couple of years. It makes sense, right, Boomer?
Right.
I mean, especially right in the middle of the game.
Well, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I mean that's some teams need continuity; they just need constant turmoil and turnover, and that should work out fine. And that in fake classes seems to work okay for UNC as well. So yeah, Dave's not here; we can make fun of them, right? So.
Yeah. We can
Okay, he won't be listening, right? So okay.
So we're talking about great fans right now, and I guess maybe the final part of our basketball one here is going to be a fan a real special one. This is an Iowa fan here, but we're going to call him out. Scott Douglas today.
Can you read his handle, please?
Oh, geez. What does it say?
It says at Scotty D Doogie. And I feel like that pretty much sums it up.
He wrote, well, he tags Keegan Murray, number one. So that's awesome. We've always I'm going to play a little thing in a second. Our stay off of Twitter piece that Producer Skip created a couple years ago. It applies here. But anyways, old Scotty D. Doogie tweeted at Keegan Murray saying, "So disappointed you decided to go for the almighty dollar rather than complete your college education and finish up at Iowa. I think you made a horrible decision, but still wish you the best of luck in the NBA. Don't forget where you came from and who you are." So sweet there, Scott. Now Keegan's dad, Kenyon Murray, he did respond. I thought this was awesome. He said, "Well, the fact that he has been on the honor roll every semester, academic all Big Ten, and continues his charity work, my wife and I are proud of the man he is. He has his priorities straight and will finish out this semester greater than a 3.0 GPA. I hope you were being sarcastic." Mate, don't tweet at players, right?
Don't tweet at players. And for the love of God, if anyone ever was like, "Man, your kid really messed up not making $10 million," like, are you dumb in the head? I mean, yes, but I don't know. Every day I lose more faith.
Maybe he was being sarcastic. I don't know.
I don't know.
I hope he was.
I don't think so.
No, he continued to try to defend it later, so no.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned this. I want to play this because we haven't played it for at least a year or two on the show. But this is our stay off of Twitter suit that Producer Skip created.
And now a Husker fan public service announcement.
Hey, Husker fans. Another game day loss got you down? Feeling like you need to blow off that L column frustration? What better place to go than Twitter?
I'm gonna log on and do some tweets.
Wait, no. You interrupted me there. I don't think you should go on Twitter and
Tell them who should be fired.
somebody better be fired.
Yeah, someone definitely needs to be fired for this.
Well, I've got a new and better option for you.
I'm gonna get on the Twitters and I'm gonna tweet at them directly.
Yeah, as a grown man, I'm gonna tweet this 20-year-old and tell them exactly what I think of them. Gonna be sure to go public with my unhappiness because that will finally get it fixed. Oh my great grand island, no! Man, does this sound like you? Well, folks, help is on the way. The next time your game rage wants to burst through your blowhole via your thumb muscles, pull an audible. And instead, grab a nice cold frothy glass of Stay Off of Twitter. Otherwise known by its acronym of SOOT. That's SOOT. Stay off of Twitter. SOOT is a scientifically tested and proven method that helps with your game day blues, as well as preserve your personal integrity going forward. So next time a fumble has you ready to go public with your angry mumble, let SOOT intercept that impulse as you go ahead and pay us on that tweet. See what I did there? This has been a Husker fan public service announcement brought to you by the Association of a Level-Headed Tomorrow.
I love that.
So good. It's so good.
And it is so appropriate. And again, we created that for Husker fans to stay off of Twitter. But the point behind some of these message board geniuses and the Iowa guy there, and the point is that it's everywhere. I mean, we are in our own bubble, and Husker fans, we think, oh, we're the best or we're the worst at this. And we're, like you said earlier, mate, we're just all nuts. Fans are just nuts. Fans is short for fanatics. We are crazy.
Yeah. Sports are emotional. I get it. Like, I'm an emotional sports fan.
It's 10:40 on a Tuesday night, and we're talking about stuff. We're live casting sports because we're nuts.
This is way past my bedtime.
All right. Well, Rob is coming back on, but he might be falling back off. I have no idea. Apparently,
we've got a horrible windstorm here tonight, and I think it's like knocked out my internet probably half a dozen times already tonight. So I don't know what's going on.
Windy underground, or what kind of internet do you have? I mean,
just tell your mom you have to use the phone.